thoracic vertebra in the back, and the sternal angle or angle of Louis. Okay, I'll leave it here. You can just take the whole thing. Okay.
Just
All right.
you
So
feel.
yeah. So it divides into right and left main bronchus at the sternal angle, which is angle of Louis anteriorly, and the fourth thoracic vertebra posteriorly. Okay. So that area where it divides is called carina. Okay. So that is the carina. All right. Now the angle between, at the carina between the right and left main bronchus is usually is less than 90 degree. Okay,
Yeah.
so usually 65, 70 degree. That's the normal angle of carina. If it's widen angle, that means something is pushing the carina outward.
Mm.
That may be due to lymphadenopathy. That may be due to left ventricle, which when it enlarges, it pushes. So it's a lymphadenopathy which is causes widening of the carina. Okay, the right and left main bronchus, okay, they are going towards the right, going toward the left, the right lung, the left going toward the right lung, and where they come out, okay, that area is called hilum. So we have a right hilum and we have a left hilum. Now at the same area, because every bronchus is associated with a vessel in the lung, no matter how small the bronchus is, there will be a vessel next to it. And this is how God has made us. Okay, it's a very symmetrical anatomy in the lung. So every bronchus is associated with a vessel, and the size normally the size of the vessel and the bronchus is exactly the same. There's no change normally. Okay, and this is unbelievable, anatomy. Okay, so when there's the right bronchus, there will be a right pulmonary artery. Okay. So we have a right main bronchus, right pulmonary artery, then we have a right pulmonary vein, and then we have a lymphatics. So the components of HILA are bronchus, pulmonary artery, pulmonary vein, and lymphatics. Okay, the same thing on the left side. The only thing, the left hilum normally is slightly higher than the right hilum. If you can see that this is the left hilum, this is the right hilum,
Yeah.
and if you make a line, this is higher than the right one, so it's slightly higher. Okay? This is the normal anatomy of the hilar region. Okay. Then we come to the aortic knuckle. Aorta starts on the right side. Okay. When it starts on the right side, this lies anteriorly. Then arch of aorta, and it goes posteriorly to the descending aorta. Okay, and then where it goes, to the descending aorta, that component is called aortic knuckle. Okay, so this is the aortic knuckle. This lies posteriorly. Okay, and as we go down, we can see that it goes down into the abdomen. Okay, so we can see a white line next to the vertebra, which is a descending aorta. So descending aorta lies posteriorly. Okay, all right. Next come the heart, and we have a right heart border, and we have a left heart border. Now the right heart border is made up of what? What
the
part
the
of the
right atrium.
Very good. Okay, it's made up of right atrium because right ventricle lies anteriorly. That's why whenever there is a right ventricle enlargement, you do a parasternal heave, and it will be positive because right ventricle enlarges and it pushes your hand anteriorly. So it lies anteriorly. It does not make the right border of the heart on X-ray because X-ray is two-dimensional. Okay, so it gives you the right border is the right atrium. Okay, left border is left ventricle. Okay, so that is the border of the heart. Now the heart size normally is less than 50% of the thoracic diameter. Okay, so if they measure the maximum thoracic diameter from here to here, and you measure the maximum heart diameter, this should be less than 50% of the thoracic diameter. Okay, and that is what we can call it cardiothoracic ratio. Okay, and then comes the diaphragm. Okay, the right diaphragm is always higher than the left diaphragm. Okay, 3 to 4 centimeter higher. Why it is high? Because there is a liver below it, and which pushes the diaphragm a little up. So the right diaphragm normally is always higher than the left diaphragm. And then we have a little angle called costophrenic angle. Costo mean bone, and phrenic mean diaphragm. So it's between the rib and the diaphragm. That's the costophrenic angle. Costophrenic angle usually is a sharp angle. If it is not sharp, then there is some obliteration of the costophrenic angle, which may be a small effusion, which may be a small infiltrates, which may be a pleural thickening. Anything can cause inflammation. It can cause obliteration of the costophrenic angle. But in general, the costophrenic angle is sharp, okay, on both sides. So that is the cost of clinic angle. Okay, you need a very, when we, on a PA view, if the cost of clinic angle is obliterated due to pleural fluid, okay, then how much fluid is there normally? How much fluid you need to obliterate a cost of clinic angle? Do you know? Okay. You need to have at least 150 to 200 mil fluid to show a cost clinic angle is obliterated. Okay, so that means if it's an effusion, okay, then if it's just obliterated and this is an effusion, most likely there's the fluid which is around 200 ml fluid. Okay. Okay. The left diaphragm will have a black hole below it. That black hole is a gastric bubble. Okay, because the stomach is just below the left diaphragm. And most of the time, if the patient has not taken a full meal, there will be air, because most of the time there's an air in the stomach. Okay, so it will show air everywhere. Wherever there is air, it will be black on X-ray. Okay, so there will be a black area which will be a stomach. Sometimes the colon, especially the descending part of the descending colon, may be seen below the left diaphragm. Okay, but most of the time it's the stomach which is shown. All right. So, so these are the diaphragm, okay, and then we come to the ribs, okay. Now ribs, depending upon whether X-ray is a PA view or a lateral view, okay, the ribs will be whether anterior or more prominent or the posterior more prominent. Then normally on a PA view, okay, we have a beam in the back and we have a film in front. So anything which is closer to the beam will be more prominent, okay. Anything which is away from the beam will be less prominent. So on a PA view, the posterior ribs will be more prominent. So these are the posterior ribs. The horizontal ribs are the posterior ribs, okay? And the ribs which are not prominent and these are oblique, and these are the anterior ribs, okay, which I'm pointing out, all right? So if you want to count the ribs on a good inspiratory film, when the patient is doing a PA view in a department, standing and doing an X-ray, we should be able to count 9 posterior ribs and 6 anterior ribs. How we count the ribs is that the first rib is first thoracic vertebra. This is the first thoracic vertebra, and that is the first posterior ribs. If you can just follow that rib and come anteriorly, so that will be the first anterior ribs. Okay, so this is the first posterior rib, and that is the second thoracic vertebra. So that's the second posterior ribs. So if you just follow it, it comes anteriorly, so that will be the first anterior ribs. Okay, the next is easy. Now we have the third posterior rib, the fourth, the fifth, the sixth, the seventh, the 8, 9, and 10 will be here. Okay, so that means this is a good inspiratory film. Okay, but this is how you count the ribs. Anterior ribs are easy to count. Okay, we have first anterior ribs, the second anterior ribs, the third anterior ribs, the fourth anterior ribs, the fifth anterior ribs, and the sixth anterior ribs. Okay, so the sixth anterior rib usually touches the middle of the diaphragm in a normal, a good film. Okay, so in this film we can see that there's a good inspiratory film, and we can count the ribs, which are needed to tell that this is a good inspiratory film. All right. So this is basically an anatomy of a chest X-ray. Okay. Now, anatomy of the lungs, we have 2 fissures on the right side, and we have 1 fissure on the left side, which you all know already.
Yeah.
We have a major fissure, and we have a minor fissure. Major fissure is called oblique fissure because it lies obliquely. Then we have a minor fissure, which is a horizontal fissure because it lies horizontally. So the area above the horizontal fissure is all upper lobe. The area below the major fissure is all lower lobe. The area between the horizontal and the major fissure, okay, or the oblique fissure, is the middle lobe on the right side. Okay. So this is 3 lobes. So all you need to do is, most of the time the fissure will not be shown on a chest X-ray, because unless it's thickened, or in some people it is visible. But if it's not shown, all you need to do is take an oblique line from the anterior angle, okay, and once you take an oblique line, and all that area below that, and that will be the lower lobe. The lower lobe has various segments. We have a speeder segment which lies speedily. Then we have the basal segment, anterior basal segment, lateral and medial, and then posterior basal segment. So these are the 5 basal segments, 5 segments in the lower lobe. Okay. Then we have a middle lobe. So areas on the right side, which is just overlies the heart on a lateral X-ray, that is the middle lobe. Okay. Middle lobe will have two segments. Okay, the lateral and medial. So one which lies medially is the middle lobe, the medial segment, and one lies laterally is the lateral segment. And then we have upper lobe. Upper lobe has three segments on the right side. We have apical segment, posterior segment, and anterior segment, and these are the segments. If you don't remember the segment, doesn't matter, but you need to know there are three lobes on the right side. On the left side we have two lobes because there's only one fissure which divides the lung on the left side into upper lobe and the middle lobe. At the same time, the upper lobe without a fissure is divided into upper and lingula. So if you take an imaginary horizontal line across the hilum, so all that area which on the right side was the middle lobe, on the left side will be a lingula. So that means the area above the heart on the lateral X-ray on the left side, an area of the lingular lobe. Lingula is a part of the left upper lobe, but there is no fissure, so it's just without a fissure, it's divided into upper and the lingula. And all that area below the major fissure will be a lower lobe. And then we have the same thing, the superior segment, anterior basal, medial lateral, and posterior basal segment. And this is how we tell different lobes on a lateral film. This is how we measure the cardiothoracic ratio, which we already have discussed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. One important terminology we use in X-ray reading is called Silhouette sign. Silhouette sign means when an opacity obscure an organ. Okay, we call it a silhouette sign. Okay, silhouette basically in English terminology is a black painting, a black art. The way if you see an art, if you make a face and just fill it all black, okay, and if you make a shape and fill it all black, that is called silhouette. So silhouette in X-ray terminology is that there is some opacity which is blackening out the organ, part of the organ, and we don't see the border of that organ. That's called silhouette sign. So silhouette sign tells us the anatomy of that pathology, where it is. If there is a silhouette sign of the right diaphragm, this is the right lower lobe. Okay. If the silhouette sign is in the right heart border, that's the middle lobe. We already have decided that middle lobe is over the heart. Okay. If the opacity is obscuring the left heart border, it's in the lingula. We already have decided lingula is equivalent to the middle lobe on the left side. Okay. Hello. 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 Yes. Assalamu alaikum. Yeah. Hi. Maha. How are you? Okay. It's for the meeting. Okay. No problem. Inshallah. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Okay. So, so if there is a silhouette on the left heart border, that's the lingula. Okay. If the silhouette is on the left diaphragm, where it will be?
The left diaphragm.
Left lower lobe.
Left lower lobe.
Yeah. Because if the right diaphragm is the right lower lobe, left diaphragm in the left lower lobe. Okay. It's easy. Okay. If the silhouette is along the horizontal fissure, above the horizontal fissure, that's the upper lobe. Because we know that all the area above the horizontal fissure is upper lobe. Okay. If the silhouette is across the aortic knuckle, it's the posterior mediastinum, because we know that the aortic knuckle is lying posteriorly. So it's in the posterior part. Okay. All right. So this is, just by looking at the silhouette sign, you can tell where the opacity is and where it lies. Okay. Now let's do some practice now on X-rays. Okay.